Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Save Us You Presents Mulut Murai. There was a lot of technical issues, so I spent another 15 minutes going through a bunch of shit just to have this recording set up again. But I think I'll just skip right through it as well. This is on video and you can already see who my guest is right here with me. He's, for me, is a renowned enough photographer that you just keep seeing his name and his photos everywhere. I have with me Daniel Adams.
Hello.
So we did, I think, talk about a bunch of shit earlier on, but we'll recap a bit and I'll refresh about every single thing that you've talked about earlier with me.
Is that stuff still usable?
Which one?
The one that we just recorded?
What do you mean it's usable?
As in, you still have it, right?
I still have it, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but it's not on the camera, so it might not end up working.
Okay, yeah, fair.
But for those who don't know him, and I'm guessing that some people won't, but some people definitely might do. Just as a introduction, about what you've done and how you
Disclaimer: I am not picking my nose. I am just adjusting my nose ring to anyone who is watching. So
you knew that you had to clear that out.
Yeah, because I think I'm picking my nose all the time. Sorry, what were you saying?
I remember the first thing that we talked about in the previous recording was about my new little gadget, but I can't even use it now.
I don't.
But it was funny because I could do this.
You still can, but you just have to stretch a little bit further, That's not so bad.
But I don't know. I mean, I know now, but I didn't know about your past and how you came into being a photographer in Malaysia. What I did understand from whatever happened just now was that you picked up photography when you were younger, and then you went to university, and then you started really getting involved in the creative scene in Malaysia after university, right?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Basically, I think that's how I would recap it.
Yeah.
That's how I would recap my life as well.
And then I'm just retracting everything. But once you got back from university, you were looking for jobs as a photographer.
Sort of. So then I went
passively.
When I came back from uni, I think I graduated in July 2017. I came back in September 2017.
Yeah.
And I was fucking about for a bit and traveling and just kind of just living life because I could for a few more months. But I was getting little freelance jobs here and there, which was nice. And obviously from family, friends and stuff, people who already knew me.
Yeah.
And then in December, one of my friends said that she is leaving APW and that they need a new person and that they're looking for a photographer and the photographer just left, blah, 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 blah. So I joined and I was their social media I think it's called an executive. I was I did the social media management for a bit.
But you filled their requirements or whoever they're looking for, fresh grad?
I think so, yes.
They were fine with it?
Yeah, but I was also part-time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was the main point, right? I've never actually had a full-time job.
Oh, until now?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's new. I didn't know that last recording.
Yeah, okay.
Because you said that you were in agency as well right now.
Currently, I am working part-time for an agency.
Oh, okay. Not full-time. Part-time as a photographer as well.
Yeah, so Pandan Social is a new kind of a boutique agency. It's been about for 2 years, and one of my very close friends runs it.
Yeah.
So I was joking one day I should just move to England because I want a new start. I need a job, blah, blah, blah. Through the pandemic last year, I was just saying that.
Yeah.
And he was like, why don't you just come work for us? And I was like, huh, what? And then I kind of followed up one day and I was like, oh wait, are you actually serious? And he was like, yeah, let's talk about it. So they set up Pandan Productions, and I am kind of the creative lead in that part, kind of heading a lot of the ideas and the stuff for their clients. But I do that part-time, Monday to Wednesday, not even Monday to Wednesday, 3 times a week. And I juggle my freelance and stuff, and I have to juggle
alongside that as well. Right.
I'm finding very difficult at the moment.
So just to recap, it's you started off with APW as a part-time photographer, and then you jumped from one part-time gig to another while also working on your freelancing stuff up until to this point.
Yeah, kind of.
Is that how it is?
Yeah. Okay, so APW was So I was the I wasn't even a photographer there. I was like, I did the photography that needed to be done, or the content creation or whatever, and I did the social media management, but I also did events. I also went to meetings, and I also did, you know, all the other client stuff, and ended up
That's
being
quite
a lot
of shit.
Yeah, and I was part-time, and then I left, and I was freelance for a year, and then obviously freelance for a year through the pandemic. So I think I got really bored at one point, and I was like, I need a job. So then I joined Pandan.
This was recent then.
Yeah, so I joined Pandan in January.
Okay. Only been a couple months.
Yeah.
So get back to like your first employment, I guess, as part-time with APW. Do you think that kind of like developed your skills as a photographer, or like the way, maybe like work ethic as well?
I don't think it developed my skills as a photographer. I think it developed my skills with my work ethic, and maybe like, obviously I did make some mistakes there, which I've learned from. Definitely took it as a learning curve. And I also think that I was able to, I think I got a lot of experience from like the business world, how to deal with clients, how to like talk to clients, how to...
You had to do all of that as well.
Yeah, because, you know, in APW we set up the event, you know, the thrift market APW and stuff
Rio.
like that, right? Yeah. No, not Rio la. But we would obviously have to talk to the Rio people when they were doing Rio there. So I did learn about client servicing. And I did learn about like how to handle like vendors and stuff like that. And I think that still applies to what I do today. Because I still have the client service with the clients, and I still have to like talk to them and, you know, be what's that word, polite, even if like I get really frustrated, right?
Business like.
Yeah, I still have to be like business like and not get angry, and that's something that I still like struggle with today.
That's when I came back. I studied in Berlin, and I came back to KL I think 2 years ago, and then my dad has a company, so he was like, okay, you can join, but like as a business development. So what I do is talk to clients and like relation and shit. But I had a really tough time handling that because I like had a glorious mohawk. And then he was like, you know, like this is a good opportunity for you to not like fuck up your future after this, because who's gonna hire like someone with a liberal arts degree in KL? and then he was like, just cut it off. So it was like a really sentimental moment for me to like, you know, learn all the steps of becoming business like and like appearing well in front of other people. But I do definitely, I think I've learned quite a lot of just like being professional and like being able to like talk to people that I might not be friends with, because in the creative world, in the industry, I like feel like everyone's buddy with you because it's not of a serious kind of thing. So you can go party and you can drink with them and stuff like that. But I think you learn quite a lot if you just like straight up and you know, okay, separate. Okay, this is the fun part and this is the business world, right? Like you once you like get paid or like are about to get paid, that's when you draw the line and not to get fucked over. I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that.
No,
not yet.
No, not yet. Like, thankfully not yet.
For even for your freelancing work, that you've never had to like chase someone.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to chase people, but like I don't count that as like, you know, I don't count that as like drawing the line. I'm very patient.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, the thing. Okay, one thing about me is that like I tend to trust people until they've like fucked me over, and I haven't had anyone fuck me over. Like I don't count not paying me for 3 months fucking me over. You know, like
You don't think so?
No, I find like when they ghost you. I feel like when they have,
you think that's understandable?
And they've ghosted you and they don't reply. That's when they fucked you over, and they just don't reply.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's what I mean though. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't freelance, but my girlfriend Alicia does,
right?
And it's like almost every single other day where she's like, "Fuck this client, fuck this," you know, like these kinds of like situations. She's glaring at me. These kinds of like situations where you like have to like chase for your payment and stuff like that. So luckily you haven't.
I mean, I've had to chase for payments, but I don't like it. It's just I find that normal. It's such a norm that I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, you know, I can wait for 3 months. It's fine.
Yeah.
But also I don't have that like confidence to scream at someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you don't have to.
I'm like. So if someone's like, "Hey, can I pay you 3 months later?" I'm like, "Okay, sure."
I'll just have to wait.
Yeah. Which is something that I'm still trying to learn.
Yeah.
On how to like cope with or deal with.
The business side of things. a lot of people that I mean, yeah, because like a lot of young people are here, and in Safe House, I mean, and even some of our partners like here, and he just started like freelancing. I think maybe late last year. Even though he's done a lot of stuff, he just doesn't know certain, like, contractual obligations, or like sending an invoice. Do you send a quotation first, and then an invoice, and then the receipt, or stuff like that to officiate things. And I think that's like just like a learning curve that you.
So one thing that I did realize is that so I've also learned that like you have to send a quote first, and then you send an invoice, and then blah blah blah.
No one taught you that.
No one taught me that. But I did learn from C27.
You worked there?
No, I didn't work there, but I worked with them. So they hired me to do a job for Tune Protect. And this was like 2 years ago. So I'd only been in the scene for like a year and a bit.
Yeah.
And the person I was dealing with, Prit, she was like, oh, okay. I think she kind of got the gist that, I was quite new and I didn't really know what I was doing in terms of like the business side of things. So she was like, oh yeah, we need a quote, and then you do the quote, and then we'll stamp it, and then, you give us the 50% deposit invoice, and then we'll stamp that, and then you give us the invoice. I was like, okay, great. That's great. I learned from that, and I can implement it into all my future clients. Yeah. So I think that's actually super important. Obviously now people don't ask for quotations, and they just want an invoice or whatever, but a lot of the times.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I still do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's I don't know. I feel like these things put the black and white really like protects the creative from just, like I said, But C27, that's funny. Because I was just talking about C27 last week, and Alicia applied because I don't know, like my second uncle is the CEO, and I don't know, there's just like a whole, I didn't know that they were so involved as well. Like a lot of people have worked with them as like freelancers as well, or just like know of their existence. But
to be fair, there are so many agencies in KL. Like every single time I meet someone who works
advertising agencies, right?
Advertising agencies, social media agencies, like just anything to do in the advertising world, right? Every time I meet someone who works in an agency, they're always telling me a new agency name, and I'm like, what?
Where'd that come from?
Yo, who are these people?
Yeah.
No idea.
Because I feel like agencies are a way for creatives to make money in KL.
Yes. Obviously, agencies are like when a client goes to an agency, when a company gets with an agency or signs with an agency, then the agency becomes the middle person, so that you don't have to talk to the client, and so the agency can like work with the agency can get the best pay for you or whatever like that.
As a management, I guess.
But then obviously you have to be careful with some agencies, because they just tend to try to fuck you over and try to get the cheapest option.
But that's what I meant though, like, because like a lot of creatives, I mean, they're just like, how can I be creative? How can I not work a 9 to 5? Like be an artist as well as get paid. Right. But once you're part of an agency, you're like an employee, right? Like, I mean, I don't know if you're freelancing, obviously it's different, but like if you like have a contract, like a staff, then you're an employee, and then like you work as other people work. So like they might not treat your creative output the same way that you kind of like expect them to, and like as an artist, for example, like when I work, I don't expect to be like my output or whatever, my work, to be treated as like it's individually mine, that I'm like giving out. It will be the product of the company, right? And I think creatives don't really understand, like when they do art or creative output for the advertising agencies, is at the end of the day going to be the advertising company's product. And I feel like a lot of creatives feel like they're getting ripped off from that is not really paying back to themselves, like, and then that's why a lot of people get jaded, I think, after a couple of years doing the same things. I don't know if you've experienced any of that. I
unfortunately don't have.
I mean, if you're just working part-time and freelancing, I don't think that it would pertain.
To be fair, it's with this company, it's nice because obviously they're my friends. For a start. And then I do have like kind of creative control what I want to do based on what the client wants and what like they want as well. Like I just work with them to do stuff. And I think the main reason why I joined an agency is because I love being freelance and I love doing my own thing, but it just gets so boring.
Yeah.
I'm on my own all the time. I want someone to like bounce ideas off of, and I think that's what I was struggling with for a long time. It's the fact that like during MCO and during COVID, I was at home the whole time, and I live with a bunch of great creatives, which is cool. But I was seeing the same people over and over again, right? And I wasn't having new conversations and stuff like that, which I realized that I need in order to like kind of like grow as a person.
Yeah.
And I only realized this recently. So I think what I wanted was to not have to take care of myself. That's what I was so
The management
that
part?
year
Is that
was
what you
just-
mean?
sort of, yeah.
I'm not really getting the taking care part.
The taking care of like just having to do everything myself.
Right.
You know, like I'm happy to do that with my freelance now because it's
Uh-huh.
half of what I'm doing. The rest of what I'm doing is someone telling me what to do. And I wanted someone to tell me what to do because I was
Okay.
literally being like, okay, fuck, I need to go find the next job. I need
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
do this.
That's
and-
part of the freelancing, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So that like now,
That's
like
the boring part. I think people don't like that. I fucking hate chasing people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even do that as a job. And sometimes for safe files, I have to like book an artist.
Yeah.
And then they ghost me. And I'm just like, I'm trying to give you a spot. You know, and it's just like, this is not fun. So I don't know people who like depend on it. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, my current project is about to be done. I have to look for another one
Yeah.
as soon as possible. Right?
And that's like, I think last year that's what started to get to me. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to have to do this on my own the whole time.
Yeah.
So when I joined the agency, it was actually really nice because obviously I'm talking to other people. Like I have to ask other people to, you know, give me something that they've made, or, you know, it was just a lot of chit chat back and forth. And I was able to bounce ideas off people. There was brainstorming sessions, whereas I was having brainstorming sessions by myself, and I get really bored when I'm by myself. So it's a nice balance now of like working alone and not working alone. But also now that things are picking up because MCO is like ended, it's getting hard to juggle, and
Yeah.
I'm like a little like wow, but it's okay. You know, it's nice.
So, what about like, have you ever thought about like opening up your own studio firm?
Yes,
Because what I see in that is that it's like you're not really working on your own. You have, I guess, a bunch of other people, and then but you collectively get bigger,
yeah, I know what
you know,
I know what you mean
projects.
in that sense.
And I don't know, like this is for me like a natural next step.
Right.
For freelancers who get tired of whatever we talked about, just like fucking looking for the next project, and it's just like chasing payments, blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
But if you have like your own studio, then you don't have to like market yourself personally all the time. You just market the studio, and then you have so and so artists under it.
The thing is that I am obviously a
closer a
photographer.
bit.
I am a photographer, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, because I can hear my voice here, that I can't hear it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Obviously, I'm a photographer, but like, I am more of an artist.
Yeah.
So, then, I'm not just. I don't want to sound like
Pretentious. No,
pretentious
I don't.
up
I don't
myself
think
or
so. It's
anything,
fine.
right?
Yeah.
But it's more of like I need my name is like my brand.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, and like it's Daniel Adams Photography, and like people know me for Daniel Adams Photography.
Yeah.
So I think I'm trying to keep that.
And
I think
not
like I
lose
would
it.
love to have a studio, right? But it
Yeah.
would be a studio under me. It would
Daniel
just be like
Adams Studio.
it would just be my. That sounds so stupid.
I don't know.
I know what you mean, but it's just in my head that just
I'm not
sounds so
getting
stupid.
it.
How do I explain this? I like if I were to have a studio, it would be me in my studio,
Right.
right? It wouldn't
not
be like
other
It
people?
wouldn't be other people in my studio like working for me. Do you get what I mean? Like it would be me in my studio just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Sophia?
No, I'm not getting this. I feel like what's
Okay,
what's
do you
the
know
point of the studio if you're just going to do the same thing that you're doing now?
Because I don't have a studio now.
Are you talking about a physical studio?
Yeah,
I meant like a
Oh no!
I meant
I don't want
like-
that kind of studio. No.
like a
Right, I know what you mean.
gang.
Yeah, I don't want that. The thing is that like I don't.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, I think maybe if I progress into my career at
Yeah.
some point, then maybe.
Because we're working together, I just feel like it's always just a
Yeah. Yeah.
easier process for just like the getting the clients and getting shit done and all the paperwork and stuff. Maybe if you have a studio, then you have one secretary. I don't know, just these kinds of like things that creatives, I mean, I don't know if it's just creatives, but like people just generally don't want to think about when they have to think about other things.
I get what you mean.
And that kind of solves that issue for you. Or the other option would be like working under an agency, which I honestly feel like, damn, I don't want to shit talk agencies too much. But anyway, so that was that, and I what?
I get what you mean. I think I'm starting to follow what you're saying now, which is great. But I think
That
my
was a
aim,
miscom.
right? My aim is it like what I see in the future. If I could get to like the point where I really, really want to get to, it would be me living in a penthouse or a loft that has massive windows, and it's like half of it is my house and half of it is a studio.
Like a Soho.
Yeah, in New York, just overlooking the whole city, and that's like my dream. And I can just have all my stuff
You could do
everywhere.
that here. There are Sohos here.
I would love to rent a place like this, right,
shop
and
lot?
just have all my shit everywhere, and I have the big studio, and it'd just be mine.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the miscom. You were talking about like a physical studio.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like a spiritual studio.
Okay, you're talking about like a like a collective.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
okay,
what I
right.
meant. Because
Yeah, no.
I'm thinking about Jonah Lim and Valen Lim.
Who?
They are product designers, graphic designers as
Okay.
well. And
Oh,
they just
are
joined
they
forces.
based in
Zhongshan.
Zhongshan? Yeah.
So they just joined forces, and I don't know. Just I feel like it just clears out a whole section of shit that you don't really want to do. End up like doing it together. It's just the load is off.
I think maybe when I progress into my career, then maybe I might think about doing that, because I definitely don't have the clientele that would pay enough for me to handle all those people together. Yeah.
But if you have more people to do bigger clients,
And this is something that goes around circles in circles in my head, right? And
moving forward, we did talk about networking a little, and how you got your foot in the door basically within the scene, because I feel like when you don't really know anyone, it might be intimidating just to like get to know people. But even though like KL is such a small scene, it might also seem quite exclusive and like too cool, whatever. And the natural way, I mean not natural, the more stereotypical way that you see in movies and shit is basically just like go out and like go to the parties and events that a lot of like these creatives or whoever that you want to work with really go to, and then just get to know them through there, because then it happens more naturally and organically, as they would say. Like, did that happen to you as well?
Yeah, I did a few university talks actually, like at Sunway Uni and I don't know, somewhere else.
When was this?
Like 2 years ago.
After you've worked for a bit?
After I worked for a year.
Okay.
And then
you got invited for university talks?
Yeah, and I gave like presentations and stuff at unis. And
Wow.
one of the main questions was how do I get my foot in the door? And I was telling these like 17, 18-year-olds that like you need to party and drink and da-da-da. And I'm pretty sure half of them were Muslim. And like they don't drink.
These guys
obviously.
fucking around. Oh, what?
And so that's like my only advice, because I really don't know how else to do it, because that's the way I did it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the most fun way to do it, right? I was trying to find the most fun way to meet people, and make connections.
Was it fun?
It was so fun. It was
you
great.
didn't get like liver poisoning or some shit?
No, it was so. I was going out like 2-3 times a week. I was going to every single event there was, and it was just something that like I could enjoy.
Yeah. Did you actually make a lot of connections that like panned out in the end?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely did.
Where did you go?
Where did I go? I would go to all the drag shows.
Right. Where did they happen?
I think they were at the ones I went to were at Jaloco and at
yeah.
So I got a lot of connections, especially I got a lot of connections with the LGBT community, and that helped a lot with my own personal work.
Yeah. Something I want to get to too.
Yeah. And then obviously met a lot of people in the music industry. And through that, then I would meet other people, and it was just a snowball effect. I would meet one person, and then that would lead to another person. That would lead to another person.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a good thing for me to do, just to go out and just constantly. do stuff.
Yeah, it's easier, I feel.
Yeah.
Because almost all the people that I meet, actually, no, I take it back. Almost all the people that I end up working with, I meet like through Twitter or something.
Yeah.
Like way back then. I'm not that big of a party guy. Like I don't really like talk to too many people when I go out.
Right.
But I do see a lot of people around me. They're just like, I mean, it happens, and it at Safe House as well. You know, like I host something, and then I'll be like, hey, this is this guy who does this, and this is this guy who does this.
Right, and then you just get introduced to someone that you don't really know and that you will probably want to know later on.
Yeah.
But also I think another thing was that I did a lot of personal work in 2018 and 2019. I was constantly putting out projects.
Yeah.
I was definitely putting them out too fast, but I did so many projects that got a lot of attention, and I think that was another reason why like a lot of people started to get to know me.
Yeah.
Because I was just making a lot of personal work. So I think for people who want to get their foot through the door, they should go out, network, but also do personal work and put it out there.
Yeah, like you said earlier, I think like your own brand is probably like the strongest brand that you could do, and like starting that off and not being so shy about yourself and your work is the easiest way for you to get known, and not just to get known just cause. And then I'm guessing that it helped you get paid as well, right? Like
in the end, I think so. I think I definitely got jobs because of the personal work I created.
Yeah. Okay.
That was cool. But I mean, to be fair, another thing that I did is that I actually did reach out to people.
Yeah.
Remember I wanted to learn how to shoot event photography. So I reached out to All's Amazing because I found out that they were the main collective of photographers doing Good Vibes. And I reached out to them and I was like, hey, would love to be, this is my portfolio, blah, 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 would love to do something with you guys for Good Vibes, blah, blah, blah. Paul ended up reaching out to me and was like, actually we're looking for someone to do like an art project, blah, 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 blah. So they didn't bring me on to do the events, which I would have been shit at. Yeah. Compared to the guys who they brought on were amazing. Like literally amazing what they do.
I mean, you would have learned, right? Like
definitely,
that was the goal.
Definitely would not have created the amazing imagery that they would have created the first time I went there. So I think it was a good thing that they brought me on to do my own stuff. Yeah. So I did the Biotic project at Good Vibes, and I think that was a good idea. And like from that, I was able to meet more people.
Okay, I'm lost. So, okay, this is bugging me, but we were talking about one of my introductions to you was when you were taking pictures of when Naufal posted a picture of him that you took as part of a series or exhibition or something,
and that one was shot at Good Vibes. So I started
so it was like a long running I thought it was just like a you do everything in like 4 weeks and then it's done and then boom.
No, so I started shooting in April, and then May, June was when I was shooting the girls.
Okay.
Right, the women. And then in July, I did a shoot to test out for Good Vibes.
Yeah.
Of guys.
Okay.
And then All's Amazing wanted me to do the Biotic project at Good Vibes, so I set up my own little booth and I shot random people at Good Vibes and the backstage people. So I shot like Alt J and Petite Biscuit in Bate, behind which was really cool. That was great.
How'd you get them
because I was backstage.
How'd you get them in the Bate?
I'd be like, hey, we're doing a little portrait project, would you mind just like posing for us? And they were like, no.
Okay.
It was like, then the next year I went and I shot like Sabrina Claudio, and I did what's his name, the guy who does Sunflower,
Sway Lee.
Yeah, I shot Sway Lee.
No way.
Shot like Yuna and all that. That was really fun.
Because of the relation, whatever the work that you were doing for All Is Amazing then.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was really cool.
That's crazy. Okay, so like backtrack a bit, like the Bate, the introduction. I think that was a really cool story that you told me just now. Yeah. But like how it really started off.
Yeah.
Number one, I think that it was like really. I guess I don't know how to say it. Like.
DIY.
That's the process. But the outcome of it that I really attracted a lot of people was definitely the Bate part, right? Like where it came from, and then during that time there was a lot of attention on like local arts and like really like looking inward about who we are as an identity and what we have, our fashion sense, our music, blah blah blah.
I think that's when it really started to like kind of pop out.
Yeah, and I think that you kind of like really contributed towards that.
Yeah.
But could you like go through back the story about the process and how they came about?
So I did. So I shot, the first one I shot was Hannah Nazazli, and she was a friend of mine, and well, she is a friend of mine, not was. She is a friend of mine, and she was at my house one day. I was like, I want to take a photo, and she was like, okay. So I got her into like this batik like cloth, and I kind of just like wrapped it around her. I put this little bandana on her. I put batik backdrop like in my car park behind her, and I shot her against that. And then I was like, oh, this looks really cool. I'm going to ask a few more people. So I asked like Alexis and Nicole Chen and a bunch of other people. And I photographed them. And then I ended up being like, okay, I want to make this into a series. This is like, quite fun. Like I haven't really seen stuff like this before. Not that I haven't seen stuff like this before, but I haven't seen it like blended, like the modern and the traditional being put together. I've always seen it in a traditional sense or a modern sense.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, and I put up on my Insta stories like asking whoever wants to do it, and then I just got a flood of messages, and that was really fun. And then I got a bunch of people telling me that other people were copying me, and I was like, you can't really copy this. It's just like it's you can take inspiration from it, and I'm so happy for people to take inspiration from it. Yeah, I can't claim like
that came out of nowhere
thing. It's like sometimes I don't understand how people are claiming. Like I get it when it's like a very 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 specific idea, right?
Yeah.
But this idea was just so broad and vague, and like other people started doing batik backdrops with like batik wraparounds, and I was like, that's so great. Please embrace your identity. Like you are not copying me or anything. Like just go ahead, because I'm pretty sure people have done that before. Yeah. But I just haven't seen it.
And I mean, I guess, was there like a specific inspiration, like perspective of why you wanted to do exactly that, or you were just like, it was just one of many other projects that you just wanted to like experiment with?
I think it was one of many projects I wanted to experiment with, but also because I came back from the UK, and the last project I did, or the last two projects I did, my professor was like, this project is really good. You know what you need to start doing is you need to start putting more of you into your own work. So I was like, oh, okay, I need to start putting more of me into my own work. So then I started understanding a bit more about my identity and kind of like identity issues and kind of like culture and blah, 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 blah. And I started putting that into my work. And I think the Batik project was the first project that I did when I came home that surrounded like what I grew up with, but also wanting to celebrate what I grew up with and bring like the traditional into the modern. Okay. I think that's what I was aiming for. Yeah.
But the way that you like set it up also just came. I mean, I don't know. Like, was it like, oh, I want to take 90?
No.
90 portraits.
I was like, okay, maybe I'll do 20.
Yeah. Okay.
It ended up being 90.
Yeah.
Which was fun. And then I did that exhibition for it, and that went well.
Yeah.
And then I did the other exhibition at Kyo for it, and that went well as well. It was cool. It was it's nice seeing your work being put up, you know.
You think that a lot of like that success really came from just collaborating with like people and like taking pictures of them, and then that's why they like showed up and like really like supported you?
Definitely.
Yeah, because I feel like people downplay that a little bit, you know, because the more people you work with, I feel like the more likely they just come and support your work. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, they're only trying to like care for you because they're there, but like, I don't know, it's just a natural kind of like I don't know what the right word is, something that you like really like. It's just like, I'm part of that, you know, like, oh, I'm really proud of whoever artist, because I was part of the creation process, and
it ends up being like a community, you know.
Yeah, because when you have, I'm not dissing like these other photographers, but like if you take landscape photographs, for me, it's just, I would not go to an exhibition for landscape photographs, you know, like that's just I don't know, but like I feel like if I was there, you know, like playing with the leaves in the landscape, then I would. Okay. And I think that goes a lot for like the nature of how we really developed a supportive like ecosystem within the scene. Is just like being able to like hit up all these other factors of your work that you can just like, okay, how about you work together with me to do something like modeling, for example. But like photography definitely takes into account a lot of other things like set design. I don't know if you've worked with people who like made the set for you.
No.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just like there are a lot of like different people that complement the process of like the creative.
And I have just learned this recently, so I've been doing it all myself.
Yeah.
This whole time, and I was like, wow.
You're doing like set design.
I've been doing the
like
set design. I've been doing the creative direction. Oh my god, wait, my like nose.
You need tissue.
No, okay. So I've been doing everything myself. Doing the creative direction, the art direction, the fucking set design, the conceptualization, the editing, the blah 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 blah. And I didn't realize that everyone has a team.
Yeah.
And I realized this recently, and I was like, no wonder these people are not like as tired. Like I should do that. And I get what you mean now by doing the whole studio thing, right?
Yeah.
Where you get a whole, yeah, cool. I would do that if I had. I think I just need to progress more as an artist first before I do that. But I think that is that. I want to start working with people who do that, so I can I understand the whole separation of jobs now, and why it is important to have the separation of jobs. And it's only literally just clicked in the past 2 months. Because I thought people were doing everything themselves.
Yeah, because I honestly feel like when you're an artist or something, it might seem like your product has to be like solely you know, like, but the more like you said, the more we like work on things, the more we realize, okay, everybody has like a set role and position, and some people like go to school for that shit. For example, if you're like a musician, you don't have to mix your own shit, like engineer your own shit, because there are actual people, audio engineers, who went to school for it, who learned how to do it, and they take it as their job. And that could be your friend, you know, that could be part of your team, and or like a producer or a manager, or you know, all these like kind of roles that are surrounding the artist as well as like the product itself, and like make it much more of an easier process, I guess, or like a more healthy ecosystem, rather than just like depending, okay, I'm a sole artist, I have to do everything myself, I have to go take my own pictures, I have to go do the set design, buy the fucking clothes, you know. Have you done the makeup? I don't know if you've ever done
for my own products.
You also do, you know, like that is a lot of things that you like put on the table. But I guess also the other side is that you're a one-man band. I guess, I don't know.
I think I've like, I have a makeup artist that I work with very, very regularly, and she's amazing. And she's like my go-to. And then like maybe I think I work with I've worked with several different stylists and stuff like that. But I think like, I need to branch out more. I really do. But my issue, right, is that I follow all these people on Instagram, and they do not. No one puts their damn job in their bio anymore. There's only a select few people who have their job in their bio.
That's if you take shit professionally, I think.
Like
but if you
some
take
people
shit seriously,
do things professionally, right?
And they don't.
And then they don't put the occupation in the bio, and I'm like, what do you do? I know you
LinkedIn.
do something.
They have a LinkedIn.
I'm not going to LinkedIn. I'm not going to LinkedIn to find out what you do.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't have the time to go to LinkedIn.
It's always on Instagram. I'm tired of that. I think, dude, there's like a whole platform.
I've literally never found anyone on LinkedIn. Oh, okay, wow.
I think it's more about like for like corporate companies and stuff like that. But social media. That is a great segue.
Social media.
I do think that like there's a resurgence of like interest in fashion and like modeling and photography, definitely because of Instagram. I don't know if it's called resurgence. It's been like the past fucking 10 years or whatever. Like, you know, it's definitely much more appealing to have like nice photos of yourself on your profile. Do you think that helped you in any way? That like I mean, I'm guessing no. Social media has not helped you.
Oh my god, social media has helped me, but like I don't think social media has helped me in the sense where people want me to take photos of them for their social media.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. I meant like social Instagram is like a tool for like really developing, you know, or like getting that attention on you.
I think so. I have been able to put my work out. Obviously, it's a good platform for me to put my work out. People find, actually, to be fair, most of the jobs I get are through Instagram,
Yeah.
right? And that's great, but Instagram has also, I've been reading a lot recently, and it really, really relates to me, is that like, it's like social media has made it has made it seem to artists that we need to constantly be making work to stay relevant, right? And we just need to keep working and working and working,
Like
and churning out new work.
Content.
Yeah, content per se, like content as in like our own personal projects or our own personal work, and just if we don't put them out, then we become irrelevant, right? And that's a struggle that like a lot of artists find nowadays, is that they're not constantly making new work, they will become irrelevant. And I've had that thought in my head for the past 3 years.
Do you think that's true?
No, I a part of me thinks it's true, but obviously I've been told so many times that it's not. But there's a fear that I'm so scared that if I don't make new work, that all the hard work I've put in for the past 3 or 4 years will literally just diminish because of how fast and how rapid things move now with social media.
Yeah.
And that's like a genuine fear.
Do you think that like it kind of like the platform kind of like dictates who should be paid attention to?
And that frustrates me so much.
Like if you have more followers, for example, that kind of just I don't know what the
No, I get what you mean.
values you more
It's like your
than like
algorithm
another
and everything.
photographer, for example. I mean, getting jobs, I understand. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tool for you to like promote yourself, and if you do it better than other people, I'm not gonna like be mad
Yeah.
at you. But like the way that people perceive you, for example, might be more affected. Like,
Right.
this guy has more followers than he does, so he's obviously like the better
or something.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think that like I haven't heard any clients kind of like talk about that, but I hate how
I do
that
feel like definitely they bank on that.
I don't know
little.
whether they do in like for creatives. Sorry, not for creatives, but for like artists. I'm not entirely sure unless it's like a social media campaign that they want them for.
Yeah. So my main, I guess, like criticism or comment on this whole thing is more about people not really like I guess everybody consumes. People not really like criticizing or like taking in the content for the content's sake.
Right.
As much as they are also taking into account who is the person, how much attention do they have on them, how many followers do they have, and all of these things kind of like make up how good that thing actually is.
Right.
And I think this goes for a lot of things. I think DJing is one of those things that I always say is so dictated by how popular you are.
Right.
For example, Peggy Goo.
Right.
And to me, I don't think I don't know, okay, this is debatable, but I don't think she's a good DJ, and I don't think people really listen to her or pay to go to her shows or whatever necessarily because she's a good DJ, and they just enjoy the fact that she's an influencer.
Yeah.
And they just enjoy supporting someone that they think deserves. So I don't know, I guess I don't know what the word is, inflated
Okay, I get what you
sense
mean. I understand what you're talking about.
of value.
Yeah.
When the actual content itself is not being taken into account fully as just the content. If you separate all of these other factors, do you enjoy the thing as much as you do, or do you think that thing is still as valid or like as valuable as you think it is right now?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think like with the introduction of social media, it has become so skewed, right? It's not really talent anymore. It's more about like who's more popular, like exactly what you said. But no, I get what you mean. I get.
Do you?
Frustrating.
You might like agree. Okay, this might be the case, but you might also think that like it's fine. It's not really like an issue.
No, it is an issue.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the times when I see, I think there have been a few instances where like, in terms of like acting or like actresses or actors, like the ones who are more up and coming rather than the ones who are already famous, don't get the jobs because they don't have enough followers. And you're like, yeah, but what? Like, that they're talented and they have the skills. Like, why can't you hire them? It's just because they don't have enough of a following for you to hire them.
Yeah, it's for like some like weird KPI or some shit.
Yeah, and I completely understand the whole following thing when you're trying to promote something, but not. I also don't like how now it depends on you. Like a lot of movies try to get actresses or actors who have the most followings, who have a highest following, so that it's easier for them to promote their movie.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand how that might relate. You know, like, okay, it's like a marketing thing, but like judging the content itself, it might not make sense. You know, like we lose a certain appreciation of art, or
like the art form, like kind of goes to shit sometimes.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't know, like, okay, Marvel movies has the most fucking views and shit, right? Like, but does that stand out from other films more? Does that make it a better film? I think that's like the easiest, most simplest way I can like make a comparison, right? Yeah, I don't know. I do. For me, like, I try my best to just remove all of that when I'm consuming art, when I'm looking at things, and just taking all these like inflated internet social things, and just take the content of art itself. This means a lot to me because I feel like a lot of people overlook local artists because they're not as popular as like international artists,
right?
And then you end up paying for international artists way more just because of the following count, or you think that there's an added value on them,
right? I think that's why I don't like finding artists on Instagram, and rather I like finding artists in galleries.
I mean, but that's not really like a culture that we've ever developed yet in Malaysia, you know. And like having internet already like take the main role in that kind of skews a lot of like younger generations. Like, okay, if we do a gallery exhibition here and it's not someone who they know, would they care? You know,
right?
Another example is fine artists in Malaysia. There's a lot of fine artists or visual fine art, and they're not recognized within like the younger creative crowd because they don't dress a certain way or they don't hang out, you know. And to me, I think that there's a lot of art that like gets forgotten,
like pushed aside
a little because of that.
It's so like there's that I don't know whether it was in a zine or whatever. It was like me as an artist, and then me holding a show, my friends buying my work, my friends holding a show, me buying that work. But it just goes the money just goes into a circle, right? And no one knew it's coming into this circle.
That has to grow. That ecosystem, you know. All you have to do is just make people care about things a little bit more, and then they just join because of their own incentive for the art. But another segue from that, I think is the content of your photographs that the people or the subjects, not the content, sorry, the subjects of your photographs. There's a lot of like I don't know what underrepresented people that would you say that, like people who you don't usually see.
Marginalized.
I wrote marginalized, but I don't know if that was like the right word.
I think that's how like marginalized, not underrepresented. It also makes sense actually. Like I think it's just groups of people who are not like the conventional groups of people who get all the attention, which is obviously the underrepresented groups of people. I think that's super important.
Before we get there, do you consider them like models or I mean, just like for semantics. Before.
I don't think I would consider them models. I think I would consider them just people I photograph.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Sure. So these people, is there like a specific reason why you take pictures of them, or like how you choose them or approach them and be like, hey, do you want to be part of this? Is there like a certain
not necessarily
intended effect?
Okay, so sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. For example, when I did that Dark Skin Is series with Kat, she if I had done it my way, it would have been very quick and easy. But why I loved having her for that project and why I loved working with her is because she made everything so like meticulous. And I learned a lot from her during that project, and that was really, really good actually. We worked together, right? And we had a casting process, and she wanted to make sure that these people like work well on screen together. So we had one casting process. No, sorry, we put up on Instagram who would want to be a part of it, and then we got all their names, and then we like selected some of the people. They came for a casting process, and they came for a second casting process, and then we had a third cut, and then we chose them, and then there was a styling bit, and and that was a whole process. So like, the reason why those people were chosen were for a specific reason, not because of just their looks, but also because of the way they work.
Yeah. Okay.
And how they like portray themselves.
Okay.
Right. Whereas sometimes for example, I did a shoot entitled Pink, and that was about the unconventional standards of beauty.
Yeah.
And those people weren't picked specifically. They were picked because they fit under that topic.
Yeah.
Or that issue.
Yeah.
Right. I did another one that. Well, I did a shoot on boys, which was like a bunch of gay guys, right? That I got together and I wanted to photograph, and those were all people that I knew and who had inspired me. So I think sometimes they are chosen for a reason. Other times it's people who want to be a part of the project. For example, the biotic series. The biotic series is literally anyone.
Yeah. Which I think is also like, I mean, it's more of like a process decision, right?
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, okay, how do I really want to work on this? But I think the intended, not the intended, the outcome of it and what I get, from your work is that you kind of like give light to people that you just don't necessarily see, and that in itself is like strong enough of a impact for these kind of communities, because I mean, you don't see them, and now you do in a very artistic or well made light, I think. And it doesn't like really I'm really trying to like choose my words here. That doesn't like put the identity so much in the forefront, but just like having them as like
subjects
right in itself, I think that's already great in a sense. Also like the LGBTQ community, I don't know, like I know people know you as Malaysian. You are a Malaysian artist, and you don't really see a lot of LGBTQ representation at all in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And you being like, I think on like mainstream-ish level.
Yeah. I'm definitely not
you don't
mainstream.
think so? You don't think so?
100% not mainstream.
I think I don't know.
Definitely
Really?
not mainstream. No.
Okay,
I have
okay.
less than 10,000 followers.
That doesn't matter though, right? Like
I know,
we
like,
talked about it, but like I feel like when you get hosted at like Kyo, that kind of like, I mean, okay, not like mainstream, but like you've like reached a certain kind of like exposure to be able to like for a large general public to have at least come towards your
I get what you mean.
work.
I think I would definitely still consider myself as a small artist.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Like, but I think like there definitely needs to be more LGBTQ representation, but that's never going to happen anytime soon, and I completely understand why. But there's no harm in continuously putting things out there and hoping for there to be change.
How has that been like for you and like the community? I don't know, like the people that you
I am still obviously very scared to actually do LGBTQ work, because I'm scared of like putting these people into like some sort of harm's way. But there has actually been no harm come through. But also it's because my platform is obviously very liberal, right?
You mean your Instagram or?
Yeah, my Instagram, my platform, my name, whatever. It's very liberal. So the people who follow me are very liberal. They're not conservative, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it ends up being sort of like somewhat a safe space.
Yeah.
For me to post whatever I want to post.
Yeah.
Whereas like obviously if this was brought into the general public, it wouldn't be received as well.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
My thought was that like, okay, when you did the 90 people Batik series, you know, that is very like straightforward,
right,
conventional,
right.
Like there's nothing like that might screw some feathers, or
right.
I don't know, ruff some feathers, screw some feathers. And like for Naufal, I'm sure he has like Malays following or something, like, and then they come in and they like click your profile. That's what I thought. Like that might be like, okay, and then they see the subjects, and then they're like, they might not be liberal, but they're okay with it, and then that kind of like develops this like more of a accepting.
But then they don't follow me. That's the thing. So the ones who
are
liberal follow
like,
me.
Are
the ones
engaged.
who don't, they engage, right? But also when you come into my profile, it's not all you know, it's not all LGBT work. It's
Right.
like a variety of stuff.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of LGBT stuff everywhere. But I haven't received anything. I think there was one or two times where like I posted something on Twitter, and then a bunch of people were like, you know, the LGBT should go to hell, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Blah. And you're like, wow, it's so difficult arguing with people who do not want to listen.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
I
like,
do.
it's one thing if you have an opinion and you are ready for a discussion. It's another thing if you have an opinion and you don't want to discuss it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who, like, I'm so happy to educate and to talk to people who want to have a discussion and want to learn. But the ones who just don't want to learn,
There's no point.
There's no point. Just go to the side and just have your own opinion somewhere else. I really don't care for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I appreciate it. I definitely like even the makeup, you know, like on guys. That is already something I feel like people just can't.
In Malaysia,
In Malaysia, no,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like in Malaysia, like they just cannot wrap their heads around, and then
Yeah, it'd be nice to change that perspective a little bit.
yeah. I mean, I do feel like the creative scene definitely, even though like what we're trying to do with Safe House is definitely like mash it up together, like
Yeah.
the hip hop rapper like super masculine and shit, just mash it up with like whatever else, you know, so that they're exposed. I think
Right.
that's like the best way for us to like really just fucking see it for yourself,
Right.
and that's it. And that this is a platform that you really like, for example, and then we host certain kind of things that you might not like, but like at least are exposed to, and that kind of like develops this conversation,
Right.
rather than just fuck you.
Which becomes more exciting, I think.
Yeah.
You know, rather than just having that. I think when you branch out, it just becomes more exciting.
Yeah.
And when you try new things, it just becomes so much more exciting.
Yeah, and I see that. I see that.
Which is great.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. This was a fucking trip. I swear to God. Next time, I'm gonna do it in the morning when no one's fucking here. I'm gonna do it by myself, but get a fucking video camera that doesn't shut off after 15 minutes.
Like, oh, okay. It's not working now.
So I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I know the audio side is gonna be fine. So
it's good. It's fine.
And that's my main kind of thing. This video venture just takes too much effort for me.
It is difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
It's so
like for me, I
difficult.
just don't like transferring shit, and it's like 80 gigs and like editing it.
Yeah.
Do you do video?
I've just started getting into it, and I've learned a lot in the past couple of months. But wow,
Like rendering times and shit, color grading, and then you want to do like 15 seconds, and it just takes half an hour.
wow.
You know,
Honestly.
that's just something that I don't want to do. And they said that like it's good to like be in video, so I was like, okay, fine, you
Okay,
guys
let's
do
do
it.
it then.
You guys do it. But I'm happy as it turned out the way that it. Like, hopefully it turns out well.
Yeah.
But I'd like to thank you for showing up and like sharing a little bit about you
Thank
and
you
what
for
you do.
having me.
I'm sorry for the technical hiccups, but I think
It's completely fine.
yeah, I would like you to like maybe like come some other time in the future if you're down for that.
Ken, I'd be more than happy.
And we'd also love to host you here.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm honestly like so up for anything and everything. To be fair.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So thank you everyone. That was Daniel Adams. This is Save Us You presents Mulut Murai. And if you would like to support us, there's a donation link somewhere in there. If you want to follow him, it's what is it actually
At Daniel Adams Photography.
Yep. Follow us.
DANIELADAMS, not Daniel Adam.
Photography.
Yeah, this is photography. Yeah,
Photography. If you'd like to follow us, it's s2u.pod or s@safehouse.kl. Okay, guys. Thank you. So, bye.